report. First, we are being recorded by video and audio in accordance with state open meeting law. The first order of business is a flag salute, a moment of silence. Councilor O'Hara is going to lead us.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First order of business is oral communications. At oral communications, the public shall have the opportunity at every regularly scheduled meeting to be heard under oral communications on matters not appearing on the agenda. Oral communications shall allow any resident who has a request or complaint of any nature relative to city business to appear before the council, state their problem without debate, and the matter shall be referred to the proper agency through the office of the mayor. The resident will be notified within a 2-week period relative to the disposition of the same, and a copy shall be forwarded to the city clerk. Persons speaking under oral communication shall be limited to 3 minutes each. The council president shall not allow complaints as to individual performance. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in oral communications? Seeing none, we'll move on. Madam Clerk, call the next order of business.
Next order of business is the consent agenda and the unanimous consent calendar.
So first, the consent agenda. Any councilors wish to pull any matter off the consent agenda? And I'll have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And on the unanimous consent agenda, Councilor Gilman.
Thank you, Councilor. I'd just like to remove City Council 2019-018, request that per the letter submitted to the City Clerk by Sam Avola, 1 Coburn Street, that is repetitive petition request covered under GZO Section 1.5.15 be considered for the sole purpose of determining if a reduction of building height of 38 feet to 34.5 constitutes a specific or material change.
So you want to remove that?
Yes.
Is there one other item on the consent agenda, on the unanimous consent agenda? Anybody want to remove that? Okay, so on that one, we'll just have a motion to accept that one.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Hey, Councilor Gilman, over to you on that one you removed.
Great, thank you. So the reason why I want to remove it, because I realize that almost all the councilors are new to this particular ordinance, with the exception of Council Cox and Council Lundberg. So I just wanted to mention that under MGL Chapter 40A, Section 16, and GZO Section 1.515 of our Gloucester Code of Ordinances, it controls our ability to reapply within a 2-year bar for a repetitive application, and this would mean an applicant needs to wait until this particular applicant until October 10th, 2019, which would be 2 years when his special permit was rejected by us. So what he is doing right now is he's requested that we consider looking under this particular ordinance for the sole purpose only of determining if the reduction of building height, which is now being asked at 34.5 feet from 38, constitutes a specific or material change. So, councilors, this doesn't mean that we're voting on his height. This just means that we are reviewing this particular ordinance to see if it's appropriate that we might consider allowing him or not to reapply within the 2 years. So that's all this is, and I wanted to be clear what this is for those of you who are new to this. So with that in mind, I move that we vote to approve City Council 2019-018 for the unanimous consent agenda.
Moved and seconded. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, next order of business.
Next order of business is the Budget and Finance Standing Committee report of April 18th.
Okay, Budget and Finance, Councilor Cox.
I recommend that the City Council accept a tangible donation from Jason Grow, photographer, consisting of 46 Gloucester World War II veteran frame portraits with an estimated total value of of between $34,500 and $46,000.
Moved and seconded. Counselor Cox.
We have the photographer in the audience. We would definitely like to ask him to stand up and give him a round of applause for the donation that he made.
Well, we will.
I think everybody had the opportunity to view it while his portraits while they were on display here, but they are also scattered throughout the city. There are some at the Veterans Center and also some downstairs by the elevator. Through the Committee of the Arts, we are accepting this donation, and it's a very, very valuable asset to the city to have this on record and have the photographs to be able to share with future generations. So we appreciate it. We appreciate the effort that you went through to get the pictures. This might be our only excitement tonight, apparently, so thank you, Jason, so much
Yes.
on behalf of the city.
Jason, you want to say any words to or not? Yes, come on up.
Jason Grow, 12 Marble Road, lifelong resident of Gloucester. I just want to say thank you very much. On behalf of the council, on behalf of the Committee for the Arts and the Mayor's Office, it's really a nice culmination for me that these pictures are going to be in the city's possession now. The intent of taking them was originally to memorialize the people that had been part of our community, had joined our community, and served to protect our community, and to know that they're going to have a place in the public eye for hopefully years and years to come. Their stories will be preserved. We're hurtling towards our 400th anniversary, where we're going to be doing a lot of reflection about who we are as a community, where we have been and where we're going. And it's really comforting to me as a photographer to have a little tiny bit of my contribution recognized in the city. And it will be there hopefully for generations to come. It was my hope when I submitted this request that the pictures remain mostly in the public view. You know, obviously I know 46s are a lot to hang at one time, so I don't expect them to grace all the walls, but it'd be nice if they came in so that children coming up and people coming to the community can understand our history and where these people came from and their contributions to the city. So I thank you for accepting them. I'm grateful that they're going to be available for the public, and it's a very wonderful thing you've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Cox.
Jason, we have also asked for the administration to invest in proper hanging for the photos. So if you have any recommendations, like for the open space, like the wall hangers with the adjustable straps, we would love to have your input on that as well. So that way, no nails in the walls. No more nails in the walls.
Okay, this is
Thank you.
great. Thank you so much. Okay, Councilor Cox, the floor is still yours, I think. Did we vote? No, you haven't voted. Oh, sorry. Well, we have, its motion has been seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Okay.
I recommend that the City Council accept a state grant amendment from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Office of Coastal Zone Management, a coastal resilience grant of $17,000 for the purpose of better addressing and protecting the Gloucester High School campus from future flooding risks and hazards, and I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other comment?
This is an additional grant for the high school flood mitigation project for $17,000. The previous funding was $63,345, so this brings the award total up to $80,345. We have more than enough to match the 25% with our time and assets as a city. So I believe Greg Catamatori went after this because we were a little bit over, and he requested more funding, so good on him.
Any other questions or comments? Simple majority. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
I recommend that the City Council approve 2019 SBT 8 in the amount of $60,000 for the purpose of funding the Gloucester High School Resource Officer, and I so move.
Second?
Moved and seconded.
This is just an annual
Okay.
transfer from the school to the city for the resource
Right.
officer.
So it's a transfer, simple majority. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next.
I recommend that the City Council approve 2019 SBT 9 in the amount of $349,549 from the following general fund school accounts: SPED tuition, Mass District Wild Professional and Technical for $73,854, SPED tuition, non-public school district-wide professional and tech, $164,412, and SPED tuition collaborative district-wide professional and tech, $111,283 for a total of $349,549, and I so move.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other comment?
A lot of seconds tonight. This is just an annual transfer to reimburse the city for school tuition charges.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next.
Oh. I'm going to do these one by one.
Okay.
I recommend that the City Council I recommend that the City Council approve payment of prior year wages owed to a school teacher from previous year in the amount of $889.44, and I so move.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any other comment? Or just in general?
Wages owed to a teacher for incorrect step
Right.
from the prior year.
Yep. Just truing up the books on these guys. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next.
I recommend the City Council approve payment of prior year wages owed to a retired school teacher from East Gloucester Elementary in the amount of $1,000, and I so move.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I recommend that the City Council approve payment of prior year wages owed to Gloucester Public School Administrative Assistant at Plum Cove in the amount of $5,611, and I so move.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I recommend that the City Council accept an amendment of the expenditure limit of the preschool revolving fund from $135,000 to $150,000, and I so move.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Sorry, my only companion lately has been a 2.5-year-old that's frying my brain. I recommend that the City Council approve supplemental appropriation 34 in the amount of $45,000 for the purpose of funding engineering services for street completion, and I so move.
Second?
Moved and seconded. This is again just simple majority. Oh, this is the only roll call.
Essay.
Okay, roll call.
Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Heck?
Yes.
Counselor Holgram?
Yes.
Counselor Blank is absent. Counselor Lundberg?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Supplemental appropriation 2019-34 passes on a vote of 8 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 absent.
Thank you. Next.
I recommend that the City Council approve proposed changes to the DPW Beach and Stage Fort Park Regulations Appendix A, parking and rental fees established pursuant to the beach parking fees for Stage Fort Park, Good Harbor Beach, and Wingersheek Beach to be raised for certain subheadings as noted in Appendix A. And I so move.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any comment on that?
There is a chart that was with the motions and within our packet showing the increase in parking fees. Most of them are $5 increases, but please review the chart to make sure. And if you have any questions, please reach out to the administration or DPW.
Great. Simple majority. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That's it. Thank you, Councilor Cox. Madam Clerk, next order of business.
Okay, there was no meeting on April 15th for ordinance administration, so the planning and development, the standing committee report of April 17th.
Okay. Next order? What? Is there, okay, so keep going.
I thought you were going to say something, that's why I'm sorry.
Nope.
The next order is scheduled public hearings, 2019-015, the rezoning 2019-001, rezoning of property located at 28 Rockport Road, Assessors Map 178, Lot 28, from EB to R10 residential.
I'll open the public hearing, and Councilor Gilman, you want to make the motion to withdraw?
Do you need to close it first before I make the motion to withdraw? No?
I guess. Okay. All right, public hearing closed. Committee report.
Thank you. So in a motion by Council Lundberg, seconded by Council Holmgren, the P&D Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend the City Council permit the withdrawal of RZ 2019-001, Rockport Road, number 28, map 178, lot 28, from EB to R10 without prejudice. And I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. We closed the public hearing. Okay, Madam Clerk, next order of business.
It's public hearing 2019-021, amend Gloucester Code of Ordinances, Chapter 4, Animals, Section 4-22, Fees and Penalties, subsection B, by adding second sentence, any dog not licensed for the previous year will need to pay for the previous year's license as well as the late fee of $10.
Open the public hearing. Anyone to speak in favor? Those speaking in opposition? Woof, woof. Communications?
There are none.
No communications. Any council questions? There are none. Close the public hearing. Call for the committee report from O&A. Which one of you is given the... Jamie. Councilor O'Hara.
See, the Ordinance Administration Committee recommends that City Council amend GCO Chapter 4 Animals, Section 4-22 Fees and Penalties, subsection B, by adding a second sentence as follows. B, late penalties effective April 30th, 1993. The owner shall pay a penalty of $10 for any dog whose license fee has not been paid by April 30th of the current licensing renewal year. Any dog not licensed for the previous year will need to pay for a previous year's license as well as the late fee of $10. And I so move.
Second. Moved and seconded. Is there any narrative on this from the committee?
No.
Okay. I think we all get it.
But if I could ask the city clerk.
Yes.
Okay, so what happens is between November and February, when the dog animal control officer issues the warning and the late fee, by the time they register their dog, they feel they're entitled to a 2019 or a current year and not the previous year that we're in, once April 30th has passed. So I'm having a hard time arguing that with the constituent dog owner because it's not written anywhere. So we base this off of Salem. Salem goes back 3 previous years before you can get a current year. So at O&A, they thought 3 years was too steep and just to go back 1 year. So this way I can refer to the ordinance that says we cannot give you, just say, a 2019, well, next year, 2020 license in January. You have to pay 2019 first. as well as the late fee, yes.
Counselor Cox?
If they come in, do they have to bring proof of, this is going to be weird, purchase? In case, like, if they came in January and they just adopted the dog or something like that, like, what are the scenarios?
There is, on the online viewpoint, there is a section on which you have to put in when you adopted the dog, okay? If it's a new dog, this is for people that have skipped years. One year, they're inconsistent. They come in 1 year, then they don't license another year until we catch up with them, and then they argue that, you know, it's the current year, I want the current license. But if it's a new dog to the city and they just adopted them, it wouldn't affect them.
Okay. What if they spent the last 5 years not registering the dog, and then they went to the dog park, realized they couldn't get in there without registration, so then they try to register for the first time? It's not necessarily a new.
It's
But-
not, but I guess we'll have to see what the circumstance, what they can produce, and also I get the cooperation of the animal control, because they know if the dog has, you know, how long
around.
that person has had the dog, because they can go back to the vet rabies report.
Oh, yeah.
So I would depend on the animal control recommendation.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other counselor comments or questions? Counselor Holmgren?
I have a comment. I think that this will incentivize people to be accountable. We have a lot of very responsible dog owners in this city, and it'll certainly make the city clerk's job easier, and it'll compel people to follow licensing laws if they're not currently doing so.
Okay, anybody else? So, a simple majority on this one. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next order of business,
It's
Madam
public
Clerk.
hearing 2019-022 to amend the Gloucester Code of Ordinances, Chapter 22, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 6, Traffic Schedule, Section 22-269, Stop Intersections, by adding Hillside Road at its intersection with Grapevine Road.
Ready to open the public hearing. Anyone to speak in favor? Anyone to speak in opposition? Grace? No? Okay. Any communications? Nope. Counselor, questions? Yep. And I'll close the public hearing. Call for the committee report.
Ordinance Administration Committee voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council amend GCO Chapter 22 Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 6 Traffic Schedules, Section 22-269, Stop Intersections, by adding Hillside Road at its intersection with Grapevine Road. And I so move.
Moved and seconded. Any other counselor questions or comments? Yes, Counselor Cox.
Is there, much like the handicap spots, instead of keep doing the stop intersections, can we just, you know, make it a request to the DPW and not?
That's a current motion by Steve, myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All righty then.
Yeah.
Great minds.
Great
It
minds.
hasn't been referred out? Is it being referred out in this?
Last council meeting, yeah, and
That's
O&A
where we didn't
hasn't.
have O&A,
and
yeah.
they meet next time, before our next meeting, so that'll be that, and then it won't come here anymore. No more stop signs.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, next order of business. Oh, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next order of business.
Have a good night, Grace.
Thanks, Grace.
Next order of
Gracie.
business, the update of the Poet Laureate Selection Committee by Council Representative, Council Melissa Cox.
The Committee for the Arts have not met, so there's no update to give.
Thank you.
I nominate Jason Grow.
Okay, it's a poet. No. Okay, thank you, Councilor Cox. Next order of business, Madam.
Is Council's request to the mayor.
Okay, Councilor Heck, do you want to start?
Important ward meeting Monday, 6 p.m. in this room. We're going to cover a number of important topics. The headliner probably is the Green Street site for the potential location of a school. We'll have the architects there giving an overview. So people at home and people here in this room, please feel free to come by. It's going to be an important meeting. Also at that meeting, there's a sewer project, as you know, going right through the heart of Ward 2 to take care of the Fuller School, and we're going to have an update there for that project because that's going to affect a ton of Ward 2 people going right up their streets. We'll also have an opinion gathering for security cameras at Burnham's Field, and as such, we will have Ed Conley, the new police chief there, who we're going to introduce to everybody at Ward 2 and have him, if he wants to weigh in and say a few words. I would say those are probably the headliners, and then there will be a series of other things that we'll talk about. So that's an important one. I'd say that's the most important one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gilman.
I have one request and just 3 short announcements. First is a request to the mayor from Councilor LeBlanc and I. The request to the mayor that the city considers adding a short sidewalk to connect the entrance to Public Works Department on Poplar Street with Cherry Street at the same time that Poplar will be repaved. Thank you. This came to light recently when we were at the neighborhood meeting, and a lot of people were talking about speed on Poplar, and then Councilor LeBlanc last week saw a woman pushing a baby carriage having to be on the street at that section.
Right.
It's a small section, and they're going to be repaving the road, and it might be a good opportunity.
So
Next.
Just FYI, Councilor Nolan and I were meeting with DPW Director Hale yesterday about something else, and then after that came up what you just talked about, and I think he said he had some ideas about that. It's a little bit of a challenging area, but he's aware of it, and he said he would be telling us his plan. So it's in the works, but glad you brought it up.
Great,
Okay.
thank you. May 4th, Saturday afternoon, or actually morning from 9 to 11, we are going to be doing some landscaping at Plum Cove Beach on the right side where the flagpole is. And we have about a half dozen folks, and actually we've heard a great group from Lanesville is going to come down, and we're all going to work together, and we're going to rake, and we're going to cut back bushes and make that whole spot near the flagpole beautiful again. So we're excited about that. And any counselors are willing to come. We'll be giving you snacks and water, and it's only 2 hours on that morning. Also, just a reminder that this Saturday morning from 9 to 11 is the Dogtown, or actually the annual Great Gloucester cleanup. So I won't say Dogtown, we're just one section of this. It includes Dogtown, Good Harbor Beach, St. Peter's Square, Pavilion Beach, Horton Street, Cripple Cove, and we celebrate the end of a morning working hard with yellow bags and gloves with a barbecue at One Ocean, One Love Shop on 47R Parker Street. Next Tuesday, April 30th at Captain Hook's in Ward 4. The 5th grade class will be doing a fundraiser starting at 11 in the morning for the East Gloucester PTO. And the most important thing I wanted to mention to all of you, not that all these other events are not important, they are, but there's a pretty cool community summit we're going to have. And being on the Council on Aging, I wanted to be very clear to make sure all councilors know about this. But on May 1st, there's an Aging Together Community Summit, and it's all about aging together, youth, elderly, and about being a dementia-friendly community. And we're excited about it. It's from 10 to 2 at the Elks at Bass Rocks. So we hope to have a good turnout, and we're really looking forward to this. So everyone is invited, all of the public listening, we'd love to have you. So that concludes my request, and we might get home for the second period of the Bruins
We'll
game.
definitely do that. Councilor O'Hara.
I just very quickly just want to, and I'm sure the balance of the council thanks the DPW, the administration for everything they've done at Good Harbor Beach to help with the plovers. Wednesday, May 1st at the Magnolia Library. The Magnolia Library will be hosting a spaghetti dinner, and they'll have thank you for retired Chief John McCarthy, as well as incoming Chief Ed Conley, are welcoming. So that's open to the public. I hope everyone, it begins at 6 p.m. at the Magnolia Library. Everyone's welcome. Also at the Magnolia Library on May 13th, Monday, the American Red Cross will be having a blood drive from 2 to 7 o'clock. And you can call 1-800-RED CROSS to set up an appointment. And just a note from what the Red Cross, in severe car accidents, they can use upwards of 100 units of blood. So that's basically 100 donations, which they never see. So just keep that in mind as we come into the summer season. We'd appreciate everyone considering donating who can donate. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor O'Hara. Councilor Holmgren?
Yes, two things. First, this coming Sunday from 10 to 2 is the annual Gloucester Pride Stride. Please come and support all of these wonderful nonprofit organizations who will be walking. The walk kicks off at noon. There's going to be music, food, and entertaining activities to do for children. Also, I would just like to mention that the Magnolia Farmers Market is looking for vendors. If you have any interest in this, please call Alana at the Magnolia Library at 978-525-3343.
Thank you, Councilor Memhard.
This time of the year, there's a lot of good things going on in our community. Busy time. I'd like to start by piggybacking on Councilor Heck's Ward 2 meeting, which is at 6 o'clock, I think, in this room next Monday, to make sure that any Ward 1 residents know that they're welcome. There are a lot of issues that Councilor Hecht is addressing that impact us, particularly as to the siting of the East Gloucester Elementary School. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock in this room, our conservation agent, Adrian Lennon, is offering a plover monitor training program. Lasts about an hour. And any of the people that are hoping to volunteer as monitors for the birds at the beach, there's a good slogan in there somewhere, is welcome to come tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. And then on Thursday at 4 o'clock at the school offices in Blackburn, there's an East Gloucester School Siting Committee meeting. It usually goes from about 4 to 5:30 or 6. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Nolan? Thumbs up. Councilor Cox?
Good Lord, I'm taking his time. There is a meeting for the Gloucester 400 information session in this room on the 27th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday the 27th. Gloucester is participating in Art Week with the state, and part of that there is a show at the Beauport Hotel from 5:30 to 8:30 on Tuesday the 30th. Encourage everybody to go down. Do you want the 1 hour at a time gang to set up their cleanup for Saturday morning at Plum Cove? Would that be beneficial? Because I can reach out to Donna. If you want to email me some information about your times and everything, you guys might piggyback together on that.
That might be kind of cool, because I was encouraging families to bring their kids and let their kids help clean up the beach while the parents did the... Yeah. My husband's going to be using a chainsaw, so at that point you've got to get out of the way, so kids need to be out of the way.
Your husband frightens me.
That he'll have to fill out that volunteer form that we have with the city. So.
Right. The GDCC brunch is on Sunday, May 5th, so before you get your Cinco de Mayo on in the evening, come to the brunch in the morning. And I wanted just to remind everybody that we get the budget on May 7th. So there will be a special city council meeting on that day. And then the following day, we have all-day budget meetings. So I encourage people to join us if you can. And I think that's it. A lot of budget stuff going on right now.
Is Councilor Gilman?
I'm sorry, I'll be brief. I wanted to piggyback on Joanne's order on the consent agenda to announce Student Government Day on May 28th. And I just want everyone here to know that anyone here that would be interested in having a high school student mentor with them, we would love you to do that. I'm thinking of doing something regarding the different elements of planning and development, and maybe get into 3 of the different areas and just kind of show them kind of the roots and where we meet, and talk to them about some of the projects and ask them for their thoughts. And then on that evening when we meet here, we're having a 6:15 little get-together with all of you. I'd love you to come. Even if you weren't mentoring a student during the day, the League of Women Voters are going to be here in the back. They'll be passing out voting forms to register and answering any questions. And we have a really good turnout. I'm so excited. The municipal heads, thanks to the mayor and Councilor Lundberg, who have really pushed this, we have almost every department head offering to mentor 1 or 2 students. Tomorrow night, Councilor Holgram and I are going to go to the school committee and present the document that describes it. So we're really excited that we're bringing this back to the Gloucester schools, and administration is really supporting it. And I think we'll all enjoy hearing from the students at the beginning of that meeting. They're going to help lead in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to hear from some of them. And Corey Kukuru will be doing some videography during the day. So if anybody's interested in doing something creative as a city council member during the day from 8 to 2, please let either me or Councilor Holgram know. Yes.
Yes,
I
Councilor Cox.
nominate Scott for taking my role as Chair of Budget and Finance for that, since I'll be in Europe. Sorry. Sorry, Scott.
I thought I was going to Europe.
Cool,
Okay.
thank you.
Anything
Anyway,
else?
thank you.
Anybody else? And I would just echo the 400th Committee's